so great to kind of like get a moment where you felt like you could still have like a really fun theater experience. I know it's not the way folks intended, but it was really great to really sort of see these characters back and doing all this amazing stuff. But why 1984? Why the 80s? Why do you think like we had to set the story in this particular time period?
There were a bunch of reasons. One of them was after shooting the first movie in 1917, World War I, everything was gray and gloomy. To be able to move on for the next story where the environment is so alive and so pop and colorful just felt like super great. But on the philosophical level, the 80s were the heights of everything, of success and access. And, you know, it was the time when people didn't think about the repercussions of what's going to happen. And we felt like it had a lot of resemblance to nowadays.
Yeah, I think it's like the ostentatiousness of it. That's the part that I was like living for. And I can't say that anyone is more ostentatious than what Kristen is doing with Barbara. It is just simply amazing. And they give her so much. And I loved watching y'all go toe to toe as much as I liked y'all like sort of having those like bonding moments. But I have to ask about the fight scenes. So what was it like fighting Kristen Wiig? Because y'all look like, I hate to say you were having fun, but it looked like you were having fun.
We were having fun. It was a lot of work too. Petty really made a point about, you know, having as minimum amount of CGI as possible, which was great, but it just meant that we had to do a lot of the heavy lifting ourselves. So we spent, both Kristen and I together and apart, we spent so much time working out and working with the stunt teams, learning the choreographies and rehearsing and doing the wire work and doing the water work. It was a lot. But working with Kristen made the whole experience much more delightful.
What did you do?
I was just saying to Gal, like, it's so colorful. It's just so audacious. And she said that's why you guys wanted to do it in the 80s. But I'm just curious for you personally, like, what is your connection to that time frame? Because I think everybody approaches a decade differently. So what does it personally identify to you?
I came of age and, you know, I was in junior high in the 80s. And so or I was in high school too. But I just remember it as from the point of view of a teenager, it was so much fun and the movies were amazing and everything was exciting and everything seemed possible. I couldn't wait to go travel the world and go to New York and all that stuff. So that's what I really remember about it. And I was excited to capture was that kind of the world where everything seems possible still. And there really was that kind of naivete that this way of life would ever stop being successful. And so it was interesting to take Wonder Woman, who's now seen World War I, World War II, Vietnam, seen all of these things, and collide her with a time of such opulence and excess and naivete when she's not naive. And so that was very interesting as a character. And visually, I just loved that it was so different from the first movie. I got to see my Wonder Woman that I grew up loving in Linda Carter in the right time for her. And so I loved that about it as well.
Yeah, I definitely felt like the Linda Carter vibes, the colorful vibes, like all of it felt like an 80s movie, like a period piece almost. Like it very much felt like of that era. But I do have to ask because it now fits in the timeline differently. Has Zach tapped you for any like Snyder cut little nods back? Like I'm just curious if he's now like seen it and he's gonna put some stuff in there.
No, he hasn't. He has seen it. He's seen the film, but I haven't seen the Snyder cut yet and what he's doing. But no, he didn't require anything to pull his movie.
No, I know he doesn't need anything. Folks are just going to be really happy to see it.
No, I don't mean it that way either. I just you didn't need me to retrospectively. Yeah, no, nothing.
Gotcha. No, it's great though. But it's in the canon now. That's what's so great about this is it sets up this whole new timeline. So I really do love that. And then also we have to ask about the recent news. And I just want to know, you probably can't tell us anything, but it's history. So we kind of know a little. What can you tell us about Cleopatra and why you guys are teaming up this next time again?
Cleopatra is such an interesting story, but it's one of those stories that's never been told really from her point of view. You know, it's only been told by the Romans who hated her and killed her, you know? So when you really, it's one of those, when you start to look at the story, you realize something very different than you think was going on. And she was just an epic, legendary, powerful leader. And so what an interesting story. Gal is such an incredible person to play it. And so, you know, that's such a, it's a beautiful project.
You know what? I'm ready to go.
I think we can do better.
Parachute pants?
Yeah.
Does everybody parachute now?